Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today. We're just going to have a short presentation about AHRI certification and how that relates to achieving energy savings. So just give a brief overview of this presentation. We're talking about what is AHRI, who are our members, what we do, advocacy, standards, and certification. And really the focus of this presentation is about certification, why we certify, why we trust AHRI, how it works, and how you can find AHRI certified products. And then ultimately, what's the impact of having certified products with respect to energy efficiency, money, and the environment. So the biggest takeaway here is that AHRI certified products offer performance predictability. So just to get through some introductions here, my name is Justin Prosser. I'm a certification engineer here at AHRI. Because of that, I manage the Datacom cooling certification program, as well as the water-cooled chilling and air-cooled chilling packages. In addition to that, I manage the compressor section here at AHRI, so a number of hats. One thing I do want to say before we really get into the heart of this is that you're free to ask any questions through the system here. So just type your questions in, and at the end we'll have a list of those, and we'll try to answer all of them. So feel free to do that as we go. So what is AHRI? Well, first of all, what does AHRI stand for? It's the Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Institute. We're one of the nation's larger manufacturer-based trade associations with over 300 members that manage 39 product sections. What do? We promote policies that benefit the industry and certainly the economy. And we represent the industry domestically and globally. So how do we do that? We have over 100 industry standards, and we administer a rigorous certification program for many of these products, which also we have a comprehensive industry statistics program. So who are our members? We only have member manufacturers. So all of our members manufacture products in the air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration industry. And our members represent about 95% of the U.S. HVAC hour market and nearly 70% of the global market, roughly. Some of the images on your screen, we have cooling and heating coils there at the top right, the condensing unit in the center, and then a commercial water heater. But this is just to name a few of the products that our manufacturers manufacture. So what does AHRI do? What are we all about? We like to think of AHRI as having three pillars. First is advocacy, second is standards, and the third is certification. I'm just going to walk through each of these, talk about what exactly each entails. So for advocacy, let's start with U.S. Congress. We have a group here that is regularly speaking with politicians on the Hill, federal agencies. We meet with the Department of Energy on a regular basis, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and also the Federal Trade Commission. We're working with state governments and also foreign organizations and governments, including those in Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas. And our whole goal here is to have a single voice for the HVAC and our industry globally. A lot of times that's challenging. So for standards, our second pillar, what is that all about? Well, AHRI has published more than 100 industry standards and guidelines. These are both in IP, certainly for the U.S. we use IP but around the world everyone's using SI, so a lot of our standards are in SI units as well. And we regularly work with organizations, governments around the world to help harmonize and just have a single voice for the industry with respect to these standards. You may be familiar with some of them. AHRI 210, 240 is the residential AC standard, or 340, 360 unitary large, or 550, 590 chiller standard. And these standards are extremely valuable because they provide a single method to rate products so that they can be compared between different manufacturers. Because of this, our standards are the basis for AHRI certification programs. What AHRI does is we test products and confirm that the published ratings conform with the ratings that are generated using our standards. Our standards are available free online. We're a nonprofit organization, and anyone can access them. And feel free to do that after this presentation. So just as a sort of sidebar here, of course, if we're developing standards, they're going to be used by folks other than just manufacturers and end users. Some of the folks that use our standards are certainly AHRI. AHRI references AHRI standards in AHRI 90.1 in order to determine a standardized method for rating and therefore allow for a standardized minimum efficiency level. But we're also referenced in the International Code Council, the ICC standards, Canadian National Standards, and CEC, the California Energy Commission, in Title 24 is relying on AHRI for a number of items related to our products. So now to the third pillar here, AHRI certification. This is really the focus of our presentation, and something I want to slow down a little bit for. What is AHRI certification, and why is it valuable for you and really the industry as a whole? Well, first of all, we're not small. We're the foremost globally recognized HVACR and water heating certification program globally. So that's fairly significant and something that our members are pushing on a continuous basis because there's great value in having a single voice, a common message for sales to their customers around the world. The second here is probably just as valuable. We're a voluntary program. So this is not AHRI as not a government agency or some organization with ulterior motives other than to provide accurate published performance to the customers. So manufacturers can enter our programs assuming that they follow our rigorous requirements, or they can leave our programs at any time, and there's nothing really stopping them either way, except that if they do have AHRI certification, their published performance is more credible, and therefore they can sell more products. So we do have, obviously, a number of manufacturers who have joined our programs. We have over 400 manufacturers in over 40 certification programs with many international licenses of folks participating around the world. And we conduct rigorous testing on a regular basis. About 2,500 independent laboratory tests are conducted annually. Our certification programs and just organization in general is accredited by the Standards Council of Canada. And our qualification process, which I'm going to get into in the next slide, is extremely rigorous. So just a note about our qualification process. The whole point here is to confirm the accuracy of published performance. So there are a number of certification programs both in the U.S. and around the world that will simply require manufacturer to fill out a form and pay a fee, and then therefore they can have a label attached to their equipment that would confirm that they're quote-unquote certified. But AHRI doesn't think about our process process that way, and really our certification programs in general. Our intent is to maintain the integrity of the published performance that is in the marketplace in general, but certainly one that's right beside the AHRI mark and that we stand behind. So in order to join our program, there's a separate applications required for each certification program for each participant, and all of the ratings for all of the products which fall within the program scope, which are sold within the intended market of each program, have to be certified. Don't allow manufacturers to join our certification program and just give us their Class A products. They have to give us their Class B, C, and D products, everything they sell within the scope of the program, and we confirm the accuracy of those ratings with annual testing, continuous testing, every single year. We test 20 to 30% of the manufacturer's basic model groups, and we don't conduct the testing at AHRI. We hire experts in the industry, not manufacturers, but independent third-party labs to conduct our testing. This testing is conducted in the U.S. and around the world at a number of different third-party labs. So just continuing here on testing, we don't just test any products. For example, I'm a certification engineer. I manage the air-cooled chillers program. I randomly select chillers to be tested from each of our manufacturers' facilities and have those chillers tested in accordance with our standard to confirm that those products are able to meet the published performance that that manufacturer is using to sell. This is extremely valuable for the marketplace because it allows third-party verification for something that is, quite frankly, very valuable for manufacturers to lie about. We confirm that the manufacturers in our programs are not lying about their performance, that they're providing accurate performance to the customer, and therefore the customer is getting exactly what they paid for. The second item here is the operations manuals. Why trust AHRI? There's a huge value here at AHRI, and one of the fundamental things that AHRI provides to the industry. Folks like myself and my colleagues actually are not experts here at AHRI. The manufacturers are the experts. And what we do is we get the experts around the table, folks that would generally be competing and fighting for a different place in the market, and we get them to sit around the table and develop the rules of the program that they're all participating in. So what they're doing is allowing continuous monitoring of each other's published performance, and therefore keeping each other in check and the industry as a whole in check. This is a huge value and something that you don't generally see at regulators or at other folks that are developing requirements for our industry. Typically, you don't see the experts of the industry developing those rules. One final note here on the regulators, they do trust us as well because we report to them on a daily basis. So the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, DOE, U.S. Department of Energy, and some others here listed, they take the performance from our directory and they accept that as legitimate because they realize that we were conducting testing on a continuous basis and our programs maintain their integrity. Energy Star, in addition, recognizes AHRI as a certification body and allows AHRI to administer audits at the manufacturer's lab on behalf of Energy Star. So we're able to certify products to Energy Star, which definitely signifies savings for those products. Many of the products that are on our directory are by default Energy Star certified because they comply with the EPA requirements. So just as a summary here, comparing rated versus certified, some something you don't necessarily see all the time. But I mentioned earlier that our standards are available for free online. So any manufacturer or any user, for that matter, could go online to the AHRI website and find our standards and use them to rate their products. But there's a very big difference between rating your products in accordance with an AHRI standard and having them certified. If you're rating them, that's it. You're just claiming that your product has a certain performance in accordance with that standard, and that's sort of the end of it. But if you're certified, AHRI is standing behind your published ratings. And we're not doing that just because you filled out a piece of paper, you provided us with an annual check. We're doing that by continuous, rigorous testing at an independent third-party lab for all of the products that you would like to sell in a given market. This provides clarity to the customer and really accurate ratings in general. All right. So the next item here is just what ends up being the core of our certification programs. It's the AHRI Directory. Anyone could go online to the AHRI Directory at any time and confirm that a product is either listed and therefore certified or not listed and therefore not certified. We have over 24 million page views a year on our AHRI Directory. And as I said, we report our performance to DOE, EPA, and some others on a regular basis. So feel free to go on to the AHRI Directory and check it out. So here is just an example walking through the AHRI Directory. You can go online to www.ahridirectory.org, and you can enter the certification directory for any of the products listed there under the residential and commercial sections. We're going to do just a brief example here of the energy recovery ventilators directory. So if on the previous page you went onto the commercial section and you chose energy recovery ventilators, you would come to this page, which has a number of options to filter out the rather large listing of products that are certified, including their performance. So you can select maybe product type or manufacturer or what's the model status, and then simply type in the code at the bottom of the screen to confirm that you're not a robot. As you enter the directory, you will see products that are listed under the model section, and then the performance that AHRI certifies. Again, this is not just a database for our manufacturers to show their performance. We are checking this performance through testing at third-party labs on an annual basis. The certification engineer for this program randomly selects products from this directory and confirms that the performance is accurate and rated correctly in accordance with AHRI standards. If you double-click on one of the listings, you'll find a certificate of product ratings. And this is something that's helpful for a number of folks if they just want to save that performance if they have purchased the product and confirm that they're getting what they paid for. So just as a sort of a final takeaway here before we get into the summary, as a rough order of magnitude, I'd like to just talk about why AHRI certification is important. Certainly folks talk about energy efficiency and the environment and saving money. But in this case, I just have a typical office building, 250,000 square foot office building that has typical load 20 BTU per hour per square foot, which is about 417 tons of cooling required to keep this building cool. And then let's assume that the HVAC system has a total efficiency throughout the whole system, 1.5 kilowatt per ton. A little on the inefficient side, but not too bad. And let's also assume that the building just operates 60 hours per week at that same 417 tonnage. So 60 times 52 times 417 times 1.5 kilowatt per ton equals about $200,000 per year that this particular building owner is paying just to operate their HVAC system. So if you think about whether you're going to buy an air handler, a chiller, a VAV system, a coil, and you're unsure about whether the ratings are accurate or not, it certainly is going to affect that bottom line, that $200,000 per year, in ways that maybe you wouldn't expect. Our recommendation is that you would stick with AHRI certified products, because in that case you'll know that the performance is as published, because we're testing it on a regular basis. So just as a summary here, some of the benefits of third-party certified products are they conform with an industry standard that the manufacturer would inevitably be helping to write. They're subject to rigorous and continuous testing, and the performance is independently measured at third-party certified. It also encourages and supports energy efficiency in a field with increasing demand. So, thank you for listening to that presentation. Thank you for coming. I think now we're going to go into the question time, and I'll have some answer some of the questions that you asked. So the first question here is, does the published performance of AHRI include energy savings, rate of return or life cycle analysis, and cost comparisons comparing different company products? Yes, we do have the ability to compare different company products. If you go on to our AHRI Directory, you can certainly look at the performance of different products and allow the calculation of the rate of return or the life cycle analysis. But we're not going to be doing that calculation for you. What we'll show is simply the AHRI certified performance. And in that way, you'll be allowed or able to compare one product to another and do whatever calculations you need to with that AHRI certified performance. Okay, another question here is which labs does AHRI contract with to conduct certification testing? So AHRI has, as I said, contracted with a number of labs around the world and in the U.S. We test at Intertech in Cortland, New York, UL, and also Intertech in Plano, Texas. We test at CSA and AMCA, and also GMPI in China, DMT in Europe, and also CETIAT, Lucerne in Switzerland, and other labs around the world. I'm failing to remember all of them. Another question here is how many people visit the AHRI Directory? And it looks like last year we had 604,000 visitors with, I mentioned this before, the 24 million page views. So the next question is, how does it benefit manufacturers to be in the AHRI certification program? And this is really back to the heart of why AHRI was created. So over 50 years ago, manufacturers formed AHRI in order to differentiate themselves from some of the other folks in the market that were not interested in providing accurate ratings to their customers. So this allows manufacturers to differentiate themselves and to sell their products in a level playing field. If they have a more efficient product, then they can sell it for more money, as compared to a marketplace where no one's really sure of the accuracy of the ratings. So I think that's it for the questions that we've received. So we will now, and just letting everyone know that there may have been some additional questions, and we're happy to answer them on an individual basis. Thank you for all for joining us today, and this concludes our webcast. So thanks again. Have a good day.